Hi Nana. We have studied about the estimation of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, halogens, sulfur and phosphorus in the organic compound. So now we will study about the estimation of oxygen in the organic compound. Here the percentage of oxygen in the organic compound is equal to 100 minus sum of the percentages of all other elements in the organic compound. After finding the percentages of all other elements in the organic compound, add the percentages of all other elements in the organic compound, then you will get the sum of the percentages of all other elements. And if you subtract this value from 100, then you will get the percentage of oxygen in the organic compound. So this is one way. This is one method of finding the percentage of organic compound. There is another direct method. Direct method. This is indirect method. So now we will find the direct method. So in the direct method of finding the percentage of oxygen in the organic compound, in this method, first we will take organic compound and heat this organic compound in the stream of nitrogen gas. That means you have to send a organic compound into the nitrogen gas and heat it strongly. What happens? Upon heating this organic compound in the stream of nitrogen gas, this organic compound will undergo decomposition. It will break down. That means decomposition of organic compound takes place. Okay. Now what happens? They are decomposed into or else they are broken down into, organic compound is broken down into mixture of several gases, several oxide gases. Okay, this organic compound is broken down into mixture of several gases. Okay, and also several gases, and even oxygen also is produced along with oxygen. Now this mixture of gases, it is passed through red hot coke. What is coke? Coke is nothing but it contains only carbon. It is made up of only carbon. So that means the mixture of these several gases, they are passed through red hot coke. So what happens? So the oxygen present in these oxides or oxygen, it combines, it reacts with coke and finally form carbon monoxide. That means all the oxygen present in the organic compound, it is quantitatively converted into carbon monoxide. All the oxygen present in the organic compound is quantitatively, that means entire oxygen, it is present in carbon monoxide. It is converted into carbon monoxide. Now this carbon monoxide gas is passed through iodine pentoxide vapors. Iodine pentoxide crystals. It is a warm iodine pentoxide crystals. So when carbon monoxide is passed through this iodine pentoxide crystals, so what happens? So this iodine pentoxide will react with carbon monoxide and convert into carbon dioxide. Here this reaction takes place. What is that reaction? I2O5 plus carbon monoxide will convert it to carbon dioxide plus iodine. See, five oxygens are taken by 5 carbon monoxide molecules. Each one will take one oxygen from iodine and convert into carbon dioxide, 5CO2. It is converted to 5CO2 molecule. That means every CO2 molecule gets one oxygen from iodine pentoxide and one oxygen is from organic compound. Okay, so the oxygen present in the organic compound, it is finally carried to carbon dioxide, but this carbon dioxide contains 2 oxygen atoms. One oxygen atom, it is obtained from organic compound. Another oxygen atom, see this carbon dioxide, it is having 2 oxygens. Every carbon dioxide molecule is having 2 oxygens. One oxygen is obtained from iodine pentoxide and another oxygen is obtained from organic compound. Suppose if 1 mole of CO2 is formed, if 1 mole of CO2 is formed in this process, then 1 mole of oxygen, 1 mole of oxygen atoms are obtained from because 1 mole of CO2 contains 2 moles of oxygen atoms. So out of 2 moles of oxygen atom, 1 mole of oxygen atoms are obtained from organic compound, and another mole and 1 mole of oxygen atoms. 1 mole of oxygen atoms are obtained from 1 mole of oxygen atoms are obtained from where? I2O5. That means if 44 grams, 1 mole of carbon dioxide means 44 grams. If 44 grams of carbon dioxide is formed, so 16 grams of oxygen is obtained from organic compound and 16 grams of iodine is formed it is obtained from I2O5, oxygen. So this is about oxygen and this is carbon dioxide. That means if 1 mole of carbon dioxide is formed, 1 mole of oxygen atoms from organic compound, 1 mole of oxygen atoms from iodine pentoxide. So in this proportion, the carbon dioxide gets oxygen, right? So by calculating how many moles of carbon dioxide is formed during this process, by calculating the how many moles of carbon dioxide is formed, we can find the amount of organic compound present in the amount of oxygen present in the organic compound. So for this there is a simple formula. We'll learn that formula. Okay, so for direct method we'll find this formula. We'll use this formula and we'll calculate the percentage of oxygen. So what is that? percentage of oxygen in organic compound is equal to 16 out of 44. That means out of every 44, 16 grams of 44 gram, out of every 44 grams of carbon dioxide, 16 grams of oxygen is obtained from organic compound only. So that is why 16 by 44 into total mass of CO2 obtained. Total mass of CO2 obtained in the reaction, okay, by total mass of organic compound taken. Okay, total mass of the organic compound taken for the study into 100. So this is the formula that can be used to detect the percentage of oxygen directly in the organic compound. Or else we may calculate the percentage of oxygen by knowing the percentages of all other elements present in the organic compound. Okay, so from 100, if you subtract the percentages of all other elements, then also you will get the percentage of oxygen in organic compound. So in this way, we can estimate the percentage of oxygen present in the organic compound. Right. So with this, we have studied the estimation of all the elements, all the most important elements which are present in the organic compound. Okay, so now after finding the percentages of all the elements, we can try to find the formula of the organic compound. Till now we don't know the formula of organic compound. Simply an organic compound is given and we have found the percentage of the different elements present in that organic compound. And now after knowing the percentage of all the elements present in the organic compound, okay, now we will find the formula of the organic compound. So it is called as formula analysis. That means determination of formula of the organic compound. Formula analysis of organic compound. So that means from knowing the percentages, from knowing the percentage of all elements in organic compound, okay, from knowing the percentage of all elements in organic compound, we can find the empirical formula. Already we learned about empirical formula in our previous classes in mole concept lesson. Okay, empirical formula. What is empirical formula? It is nothing but simplest ratio of all elements. Simplest ratio of all elements present in the simplest numerical ratio. Simplest numerical ratio of all elements present in the compound is called as empirical formula. So how empirical formula can be found? So empirical formula can be calculated from the percentages of the given elements. After knowing the percentages of the elements, we can find the empirical formula. If you know the empirical formula, simply we can find the empirical formula weight. Empirical formula formula weight. Empirical formula weight. EM weight. So after knowing empirical formula weight, so we have to know, in order to know the formula, the actual formula, so this is empirical formula, but actual formula means molecular formula. To know the molecular formula, we have to know the molecular weight also. So to find the molecular formula of the compound, formula analysis means, what's the meaning of formula analysis? Formula analysis means finding the molecular formula. So how do you find the molecular formula? So with the help of empirical formula weight, or else with the help of empirical formula also, we can find the molecular formula. But we need some more thing. What is that? In addition to this one, we have to know we have to know what? We have to know the molecular weight of the compound. We have to know the molecular weight of the compound also. Then only we can find the molecular formula. So with the help of molecular formula weight and actual molecular weight, empirical formula weight and molecular weight of the compound, then we can decide the molecular formula. So that means these two are necessary to find the molecular formula. So only knowing this one, we cannot find the molecular weight, molecular formula. Okay. So from empirical formula we can find the empirical formula weight. By mere knowing empirical formula weight, we cannot calculate molecular formula. So we have to know the molecular weight of the compound also. After knowing these two only, we can find the molecular formula. So then how to find the molecular weight of the compound? So molecular weight of the compound can be obtained experimentally only. There are several methods. To find the molecular weight of the compound. Molecular weight of the compound can be obtained by several methods, only through experimental value only it is. So how to find this one? So there are several methods. So first method is cryoscopic method, ebullioscopic method, okay. Next one, silver salt method, what are all these methods? These methods help us to know the molecular weight of the compound. Molecular weight of the compound cannot be known directly. So only with these experiments we can find the molecular weight. Okay. Next, platinum salt method. Okay. Volumetric method. Next one, Victor-Mayer method. Victor-Mayer method. Generally, we prefer this method, Victor-Mayer method. Okay, this is the most preferable method, but even all these methods can be used to know the molecular weight of the compound. So by these methods, by any one of these methods, we can find the molecular weight of the compound. After knowing the molecular weight of the compound and empirical formula weight, then only we can calculate the molecular formula. So already we learned these things in our mole concept lesson. So there is a relationship. Molecular weight, and after knowing these two, and with the help of this one only we can find the molecular formula. So how molecular weight of the compound by empirical formula weight of the compound, the ratio of these two will give some number. some number n. Okay, upon multiplying that number with empirical formula, upon multiplying, that means upon multiplying that number with the empirical formula, then you will get a molecular formula. Okay, then only you will get what? Molecular formula. So in this way, to find the molecular formula, we need empirical formula, weight of the compound, molecular weight of the compound. So these three things will help us to know the molecular formula. Okay, so like this formula analysis can be done. Okay, so finally after knowing the percentages of all the elements present in the organic compound, we can able to find the molecular formula of that compound. Right. Next, what is the next step? After finding the molecular formula of the compound, we have to study the structure or else linkage, how the atoms are linked with one another. So that study is called as structural analysis. So this is called as formula analysis. After conducting the formula analysis, we will come to know the molecular formula of the compound, and after knowing the molecular formula of the compound, okay, now we will go with structural analysis. So before this, quantitative analysis, before this, qualitative analysis, after knowing the qualitative analysis, after doing qualitative analysis, we will do quantitative analysis, and after that we will do formula analysis, and finally we will do structural analysis. And even before this, before the qualitative analysis also, we will do one thing. What is that one? Purification of organic compound, because the organic compound which is synthesized either naturally or else in the laboratory, whatever the way or else whatever the method the organic compound may be prepared, but it is always contains some impurities. So after removing those impurities only, we will get a pure organic compound. So the removal of impurities from the organic compound to get pure organic compound, so that process is called as purification of organic compound. After obtaining the organic compound in the pure state, then only we will go with the qualitative analysis to find or else to detect what are the elements present in the organic compound. And after detecting the different types of elements, we will find how much percentage of each element are present in the organic compound. Okay, that means quantitative analysis. And after that, with the help of the percentages of each element, we will find the formula analysis, or else we will find the molecular formula of the compound. After knowing the molecular formula of the compound, then we will study the structural analysis. Structure, how the structure is made. That means how the atoms are linked with each other. How the atoms are linked to each other in the given space. In the given generally we'll call it as three-dimensional space. And we will find the nature of bonds, types of bonds, types of bonds present between the atoms, okay, and so on and so on, okay, and so on and so on. So we will discuss all these things and so on. So we will discuss all these things in the structural analysis. So like this, an organic compound will be studied. Okay, the study of organic compound, it includes all these steps. Okay, right. Now we will go with the structure and bonding. The next topic is related to structure and bonding. Structure and bonding in organic compound. Structure and bonding in organic chemistry. See, actually, if you see, there are so many millions of organic compounds in the nature. More than 60,000, sorry, more than 6 millions